Have you ever listened to someone talk for less than a minute and immediately felt like you wouldn't get along with them? What did they say? I already decided what to order, and sorry not sorry if you're offended, but we're gonna eat what I'm ordering. You'll thank me for it. This was a person I was meeting for the first time, the classic one-upmanship. You tell a simple story about something that's happened to you. For example, I once completed an escape room challenge in 30 minutes. Cue ignoramus compulsive liar. Yeah, I've done that blindfolded, and in half the time, I've done escape rooms abroad and I was the first one to escape. Oh, fuck off. If animals could talk, which species do you think would be the most interesting to converse with? Crows, because they're everywhere, relatively smart, and they could effectively communicate with me about things I can't see, or I'm not aware of. Also, I could ask them why they like almonds so much. The other day I gave a crow some almonds tossed out of my car window. Once it realized we were friends, it then began demanding additional almonds from my stash, to which I complied, but it got all loud and squawky with me. I just want to know what it was actually saying. I think elephants would be fascinating to talk to. They have a complex social structure and are incredibly intelligent. Whales for sure. Last time you were in a hospital, what was the reason? I was getting a checkup to make sure I don't have cancer anymore. I worked there. 2 days ago, I finally decided to get help for my PTSD and alcoholism. Kidney stones wouldn't pass on their own. That's the worst pain I've ever experienced. Coffee shop gave me regular instead of decaf. Resting heart rate of 140 and sweating buckets. I work here. Send help. Appendicitis. Waited till the last hour, metaphorically speaking. 36 hours from first sign of pain till I caved in. That when I woke, the surgeon was shocked it didn't burst. But I also had to have it done via open surgery, which made the recovery time a lot more. I had a fever of a 103. I didn't know I'd started to hallucinate until I was telling my doctor about awesome movie Scooby-Doo Meets the Smurfs I'd watched, and he pointed out there was no TV in my room. No matter what numerous roles they have, whose actor will you always connect with that one role? David Schwimmer will never not be Ross Geller. Jason Alexander as George Costanza. John Krasinski as Jim Halpert. When I see him in other stuff, I can't escape the idea of him being an aloof paper salesman. Imelda Staunton as Professor Umbridge. Giancarlo Esposito will probably be Gus Fring forever. Mostly because every other role is basically just Gus again. Mark Hamill will always be Luke Skywalker. Ed O'Neill will always be Al Bundy. Keanu Reeves is Keanu Reeves. Samuel L. Jackson is Samuel L. Jackson. No matter what movie he's in, I always think of him as that character. David Hyde Pierce. Niles. Sean William Scott is Stifler and only Stifler. Rowan Atkinson as Mr. Bean. The most obvious is Mark Hamill. I will never not think Kronk anytime Patrick Warburton opens his mouth. We live in a time where intelligent people are silenced so that stupid people won't be offended. What do you think of this quote? Do you agree with this? Intelligent people aren't silenced. They are ignored because they don't tell people what they want to hear. We live in a time where stupid people suffer self-fulfilling prophecies. That sounds like a corollary to Isaac Asimov's famous statement about anti-intellectualism. Anti-intellectualism has been a constant thread winding its way through our political and cultural life, nurtured by the false notion that democracy means that my ignorance is just as good as your knowledge. The problem with this quote is that the stupid people think they are the smart people in this sentence. More importantly, we live in a time where intelligent people with strong morals ethics are avoiding positions of power and authority because they know they will become a target by the establishment of morally bankrupt criminals that salivate over power and have the reins of control. What food do you absolutely refuse to eat? People. Not going in it. How has no one mentioned balut? Surströmming ill stick to tricking foreigners into eating it. Nervous tissue of any kind. Prions scare the fuck out of me. Lutefisk. Imagine catching a bunch of fish and for winter you had to soak the fillets in lye to dry them out. Then when you wanted to eat you soaked them in water to make them fillets again. You had to eat them soon because they would go rank. Brains. Shark fin soup. I think sharks are cool, and I absolutely hate how they're mutilated for that dish. Rocky Mountain oysters. Chitlins. Poi. In Hawaiian, and I'm sorry I just can't. I'm sorry. I'll warm it up and message the bag all day but you are eating it alone. Insects. Fruitcake. It ain't fruit and it ain't cake. At best it's a dense stale muffin that's given up on pleasing anyone. And that's being generous. Canned spinach. I can't do it. What food do you like that many people consider disgusting? I like literally everything people wrote here except that one person that said cat food. Edit. After so many replies, I decided to give cat food another go after a few years, and my verdict is dry cat food. Yay, this one I still don't like. Wet cat food. I added some salt and honestly I changed my mind. This is actually palatable, and I added some spices and sautéed the rest. Put it in a tortilla with some sauce. It was actually kinda delicious. Maybe not most people find disgusting, but I could easily eat a jar of olives in one sitting. Brussels sprouts. Fried spam. I am sorry, but I seem to be the only one loving green olives. Better stuffed with jalapeno. Also love me some green olive tapenade on toast. I said it before, I am sorry. Fried bologna. Dark chocolate. Like 95 cocoa. Sauerkraut. What is $20,000 to you? If you won it, would it change your life? $20,000 would make a huge difference. It's not a huge sum in the grand scheme of things, but it'd alleviate a lot of financial insecurity. Being homeless and trying to get housing right now is ridiculous. My wife and I would use it for an apartment and bills. It would get us out of our van. A measure of leagues. Which currency? $20,000 in my currency would definitely help, but not life-changing. $20,000 would definitely change my life for the better. I think $20,000 US would go in my bank account. Nothing would change. Yes, no. It's enough to pay off my car, but not necessarily change my life. What is denied by many people, but it is actually 100 real. Majority of folks aren't playing the official UNO rules. If it is happening to someone else, it can happen to you. When I went to sea, I would see the occasional flying fish. It was surprising how many people thought I was pulling their leg when I told them about it. You don't know how to fight unless you've been trained or have experience in fighting. Most people imagine themselves beating ass only to have reality smash them in the nose. A lot of people even injure themselves just trying to throw punches. Shark attacks are extremely rare. A lie detector isn't reliable. Confirmation bias. Reading into a situation what you want to see. People largely deny responsibility for anything they contribute to. What is the biggest waste of money? Lying to your therapist. Subscriptions. I am so annoyed at the subscription economy for everything but TV. Reddit coins. Designer baby shoes that the baby will inevitably quickly grow out of. And also, babies don't need shoes. Big weddings. Cigarettes. Paying a ton of money to ruin your health. Porn. The free stuff should be enough. This is a bit subjective, but to me, gambling. You're literally throwing money away 99% of the time. C-suite bonuses. Reinvest those bonuses into the workforce. OnlyFans and Twitch donations to big streamers. $1 or $2 are fine. But anything above or equal to $5 is just stupid. Class rings. What is the purpose of them? In-game purchases in video games. Porn memberships. Designer clothes. What life-changing event divided your life into before and after? I was diagnosed with bone cancer the summer after my first year of high school. Never quite got back to my old brain, and now I have a titanium femur. Glad to be alive. Life is its own gift. Etc. But I won't ever be the same. Watching my twin die in front of my eyes and her telling me she is terrified and doesn't want to die, those words stay with me every day, and I haven't enjoyed one day of life since she died. My brother being killed a week before his 16th birthday. I was 9. Our family was destroyed. I'm 60 and have never gotten over losing my brother Michael. When a woman, who claimed to be my husband's girlfriend, called me and told me she had been having an affair with him for 1.5 years. She gave me her name and phone number. Turns out, she was telling the truth. What screams I'm a man-child but nobody realize it? Feeling the need to outman the other men you are around. Everybody but the man-child in question will notice this. Never owning up to your mistakes, and constantly blaming someone something else for them. They talk at people without listening or sense of empathy and get quick to anger when called out. I'm an alpha. Not taking out your garbage for weeks on end when you live in an apartment building. Even when the weather gets really hot and your trash stinks so badly that simply walking into the building is like being hit in the face with a decomposing corpse. Yes, man-child in 33, I'm talking to you. He breaks stuff and punched holes in walls over things, doesn't even matter how big or small the trigger. Immediate signal he's a man-child and incapable of regulating himself and his emotions. Screeching down a neighborhood in the evening. Alpha, beta, sigma nonsense. Can't control your temper. What's keeping you from killing yourself? Mom would be sad. I'm not at my own house right now. Suicide at someone else's house seems rude. What keeps me is that we have one life and must enjoy before we turn into pigeons and die from eating a gum and not able to breathe. So before we all go pigeons, depression, anxiety etc., we must live as much as possible. My will to live. Can't find pure helium. Not suicidal anymore. It's a blessing and a curse though. Traded being suicidal for health anxiety. Funny, isn't it? 5 years ago I was fine with dying and reckless shit excited me. Now my arm feels weird or something and I freak out a bit. I tell myself I'm living in hell every day, but what if I'm wrong and have to spend eternity in a place worse than this? Hard pass. The chance to redeem myself. Which fictional universe would you choose to live in for a day, and how would you spend your time there? Stardew Valley, seems chill. SpongeBob, crying face, I wanna know what the Krabby Patty and also the jellyfish jelly tastes like. The Shire. Smoking long bottom leaf. Oral Toby, eating fresh veggies and smelling fresh flowers. Drinking those little mini pints at the Green Dragon, eating like 4 dinners. It'd be grand. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Dine at the restaurant at the end of the universe, drinking Pangalactic Gargle Blasters. It constantly tips back after the end, so could I in theory just live there permanently? Would I keep running into new versions of myself or do I cancel them out? I don't know, but I can sure as hell tell you it's not Warhammer 40k. Star Trek, I would spend the entire time in a holosuite. Pokémon. Hugging Pokémon.